The Royal House of Sweden, the most unusual tiaras in the world, and the legacy of Josephine. The cameo tiara, which belonged to Empress Josephine, is one of the famous jewelry created at the beginning of the 19th century. This tiara was made during a period when the art of cameo was extremely popular. Cameos are images carved into a layer of stone or glass with different colors, which were often used to create jewelry and jewelry. The cameo tiara of Empress Josephine is now in the collection of the Royal House of Sweden and is part of their treasury. This item is often chosen for royal weddings, and it has been worn by members of the Swedish royal family such as Princess Birgitta, Desiree, Queen Sylvia, and Crown Princess Victoria. The cameo tiara is an example of how historical jewelry continues to be used and appreciated in the modern world, especially in royal families where tradition and history play an important role. The Braganza tiara is one of the largest and most famous jewelry in Europe. It was made in the late 1820s, specifically for Empress of Brazil, Amelia of Leuchtenberg, wife of Emperor Pedro I of Brazil. Amelia belonged to the Braganza dynasty, which ruled Portugal and Brazil in the 19th century. The Braganza tiara is special not only because of its size and splendor, but also because only queens have the right to wear it. This jewelry was created at a time when the art of jewelry reached a high level of craftsmanship, and tiaras became a symbol of royal status and power. After the death of Empress Amelia, her jewelry, including the Braganza tiara, passed to her elder sister Josephine, who was Queen of Sweden. Thus, this precious item became part of the Swedish royal treasury and continues to be used by members of the Swedish royal family at important ceremonies and royal weddings. The Braganza tiara is a prime example of how historical jewelry is passed down from generation to generation and remains significant symbols of royalty and heritage. The Queen Sophia tiara is a unique piece of jewelry that is distinguished by its design in the form of a sun. However, one of the features of this tiara is that it cannot be adjusted to the size of the head. So the ladies of the royal house have to experiment with hairstyles so that it harmoniously fits into their image and looks elegant. More than 500 diamonds are used in this jewelry, which makes it very magnificent and impressive. The tiara was made especially for Queen Sophia, and she wore it almost throughout her life. This indicates that the tiara was one of the Queen's favorite ornaments and played an important role in her royal outfits and ceremonies. The Queen Sophia tiara is an example of how jewelry can become an integral part of the royal heritage and symbolize the power and status of the royal family. The Leuchtenberg sapphire tiara is a famous piece of jewelry that was created by the French court jeweler Marie Etienne Nito for Augusta of Bavaria, the bride of the stepson of Emperor Napoleon. The tiara is made of gold and decorated with sapphires, which makes it especially valuable and outstanding. Now, this tiara is worn by Queen Sylvia of Sweden. This indicates that the Leuchtenberg sapphire tiara passed to the Swedish royal family through Josephine, the eldest daughter of Augusta of Bavaria, who became Queen of Sweden. The tiara is an important element of the royal regalia and symbolizes the continuity and traditions of the Swedish monarchy. The decoration was made by the French court jeweler Marie Etienne Nito for Augusta of Bavaria, the bride of Emperor Napoleon's stepson. Augusta's eldest daughter, Josephine, later became Queen of Sweden. This item is a testament to the continuity and traditions of the Swedish monarchy and also represents an important element of the royal regalia. The Hohenzollern Kleeblattkroon is a crown associated with the history of the House of Hohenzollern, one of the most influential ruling dynasties in Europe. This crown is not a traditional crown like, for example, the imperial crown of the Holy Roman Empire or the crown of the Kaiser of Germany. Instead, the clover crown symbolizes the dynasty and its members. Clover, shamrock, is a symbol of good luck and is often used in heraldry. In the case of the Hohenzollerns, the clover crown is a heraldic element that is often depicted above the coat of arms of members of the dynasty. This symbol may indicate that the bearer of the coat of arms is a member of the ruling house or has some other connection with the dynasty. The House of Hohenzollern has a long history, starting with the Counts of Swabia in the 13th century and continuing through the Electors of Brandenburg, the Kings of Prussia, and the Emperors of Germany. The clover crown is thus part of the legacy of this dynasty and its symbolism. Currently, after the fall of the monarchy in Germany, the Hohenzollern clover crown continues to be used as a symbol of the dynasty and can be found on coats of arms, medals, and other elements associated with the House of Hohenzollern. The Connaught tiara is a piece of jewelry that was presented to the daughter of Prince Arthur, Duke of Connaught Patricia, as a wedding gift from the royal house of Great Britain. Prince Arthur was the son of Queen Victoria. In 1905, Patricia married the future King of Sweden, Gustav VI Adolf, and the tiara passed into the treasury of the royal house of Sweden. The Connaught tiara is distinguished by its versatility and can be used not only as a tiara, but also as a necklace. This is achieved due to its design, which allows you to change the shape and location of the elements. The tiara is decorated with diamonds and other precious stones, and its design reflects the aesthetics of the early 20th century. Since then, the Connaught tiara has become part of the Swedish royal jewelry collection and is sometimes worn by members of the royal family at official events and special occasions. The Moderna Franska tiara is a piece of jewelry that is one of the favorite ornaments of Princess Madeleine, the youngest daughter of King Carl XVI Gustaf of Sweden and Queen Sylvia. The tiara was presented by King Carl Gustaf to Queen Sylvia as a gift for the 10th anniversary of their marriage. The modern orange tiara has a modern design and is decorated with diamonds and other precious stones. Its name is probably related to its stylistic execution, which may reflect modern French trends in jewelry art. Princess Madeleine often borrowed a tiara from her mother, and on her wedding day, Queen Sylvia gave it to Madeleine. Thus, Princess Madeleine is the sole owner of this tiara and can wear it at official events and special occasions. A diamond bandeau is a piece of jewelry often worn by Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden and Princess Madeleine. The history of this tiara is not fully known, but it is part of the collection of the Swedish royal family. A diamond bandeau is an elegant piece of jewelry consisting of diamonds arranged in the form of a stripe or bow. The design of the tiara can be inspired by the fashion trends of the past centuries, such as eclecticism or Art Nouveau. Crown Princess Victoria and Princess Madeleine use this tiara at various official events, including royal receptions, balls, and other special occasions. The tiara is an important element of their wardrobe and highlights their status in the royal family of Sweden. The ruby tiara, presented by King Edward VII to Princess Margaret of Connaught, wife of the future King of Sweden, Gustav VI Adolf, is a historical piece of jewelry that has become part of the Swedish royal collection. After Marguerite's death, the tiara passed to her second son, Prince Sigurd, who, by marrying a commoner, lost his title and the support of the royal house. Sigurd faced financial difficulties and decided to transfer the tiara to the royal house for a reward. However, his father, King Gustav VI Adolf, held a different opinion and decided to buy a tiara so that it would remain in use by the royal house. Sigurd's son from his first marriage, who also lost his status, tried to regain the title, seeing changes in the rules of the royal family, but without success. Thus, he never regained the status of prince, and the ruby tiara remained in the main line of the dynasty and continues to be part of the royal regalia of Sweden. The amethyst tiara, also known as Josephine's amethyst half-parure, is one of the most impressive pieces of jewelry in the collection of the Swedish royal family. This tiara was created for Josephine of Bavaria, who became Queen of Sweden after marrying King Oscar I. The tiara is decorated with amethysts, which are a kind of quartz with a purple hue. Amethysts in jewelry symbolize modesty and wisdom. Josephine's half-pairing is an elegant piece of jewelry that combines both diamonds and amethysts, creating a spectacular and noble look. This tiara is an important element of royal regalia and is often used by members of the Swedish royal family at official events and special occasions. It testifies to the rich history and traditions of the Swedish monarchy and is one of the most recognizable and respected pieces of jewelry in the royal collection. The carved steel tiara, also known as the steel tiara, is a unique piece of jewelry that does not contain precious stones, but instead is decorated with intricate carved patterns that create luster and an attractive appearance. This type of jewelry was popular during the Napoleonic era as the manufacture of tiaras made of steel made it possible to save money compared to the use of expensive precious stones. The tiara made of carved steel entered the royal treasury of Sweden thanks to the French Empress Josephine, Napoleon's first wife. After her death, this item became part of the heritage and was passed on to the Swedish royal family. Although the tiara made of carved steel has no precious stones, its value lies in its history and unique design. This item is an important element of the royal regalia of Sweden and testifies to the rich history and traditions of the Swedish monarchy. The carved steel tiara is often used by members of the royal family at official events and special occasions, demonstrating its elegance and special status. The Baden fringe tiara is a piece of jewelry that belongs to the royal family of Sweden. The tiara has a unique design known as a frank or frieze, which is characterized by a number of individual elements hanging from the main ring of the tiara, creating the effect of a curtain or frieze. The Baden fringe tiara was presented to Princess Margaret, daughter of King Gustav VI, Adolf of Sweden, on the occasion of her wedding to Prince Berthold of Baden in 1931. The tiara is made of platinum and decorated with diamonds, creating an elegant and luxurious look. This item has become part of the collection of the Swedish royal family and is sometimes used by members of the royal family at official events and special occasions. The Baden fringe tiara is an example of jewelry art and testifies to the rich history and traditions of the Swedish monarchy. The aquamarine tiara, also known as the aquamarine kokoshnik, is one of the most beautiful and memorable pieces of jewelry that can be seen on Princess Madeleine, sister of King Carl XVI Gustaf of Sweden. However, this tiara is not included in the family fund of the royal family of Sweden. The aquamarine tiara was handed over to the Bernadotte dynasty along with the British heritage of Margaret of Connaught, who was the wife of Swedish Crown Prince, later King, Gustav VI Adolf. Currently, the owner of the tiara is Princess Margaret of Sweden, the king's sister, who received it as a gift from her parents. Princess Margaret does not lead a royal lifestyle, as she is married to a commoner and lives in the UK, where she leads a quiet lifestyle. The aquamarine tiara remains one of the most striking and beautiful jewelry in the history of the Swedish royal family, although it is not an official part of the royal regalia. A laurel wreath tiara, is a piece of jewelry that belongs to the royal family of Sweden. This tiara was created in the form of two filigree diamond laurel branches, between which a diamond of the highest purity is elegantly located. The decoration was a very favorite tiara of Lilian, the wife of Duke Bertel of Holland, who was the son of Margaret of Connaught. Bertel inherited the tiara from his mother, and it became part of the collection of the Swedish royal family. The laurel wreath is an example of jewelry art and testifies to the rich history and traditions of the Swedish monarchy. This decoration is sometimes used by members of the royal family at official events and special occasions. Tiaras, 4 buttons, 4-button tiara, and 6 buttons, 6-button tiara, are unique and unusual jewelry in the collection of the Swedish royal family. They were created in the middle of the XX century and are distinguished by their original design and construction. 4 buttons is a tiara consisting of 4 large diamonds arranged in such a way that they resemble buttons. This jewelry can be used as a tiara, and diamonds can also be separated and worn as separate brooches or inserts into other jewelry. 6 buttons is a similar piece of jewelry, but with 6 diamonds in the shape of buttons. This tiara can also be disassembled into individual elements for wearing in various combinations. Both tiaras demonstrate flexibility and versatility in use, which is rare for royal regalia. They often appear on members of the royal family at various official events and represent an interesting example of modern jewelry in the collection of the Swedish monarchs.